So what does one do when they really love whiskey? They already have a wife-aggravating size collection of whiskey, and going to the liquor store just to grab a bottle isn't scratching that itch anymore. You go to a distillery and get a whole damn barrel. You know, now that I'm saying that out loud, that really sounds like I may need to join a 12-step program of some nature, but that is not what doing a barrel pick is all about. You're not keeping the whole barrel for yourself just to have a couple hundred bottles of whiskey to pickle your liver.
Oh, look at that. 0.10. Time for a little drinky poo. Cheers, genitals.
You'd need a new liver and seriously reevaluate your life choices if that was the case. A barrel pick is all about getting to explore the different flavors you get from an individual barrel at a distillery that you're a fan of. Getting to pick a unique barrel that offers the best of what they have to offer according to your palate. Let's just pump the brakes and throw her in reverse for just a second here. I know a lot of you guys are whiskey nerds such as myself, but let's give a little background for those less versed in the ways of whiskey. Bourbon whiskey is aged in new charred oak barrels. It's one of the requirements for it to be called bourbon. Many people think a bourbon has to be from Kentucky, and being a Kentucky native, some of the best bourbons are definitely made in Kentucky, but it's absolutely not a requirement for it to be labeled as a bourbon. Requirements for it to be labeled as a bourbon are, has to be made in the USA, it has to have a mash bill of at least 51% corn, has to be distilled at no higher than 160 proof, barreled at no more than 125 proof, have no additives, coloring, flavoring, or anything like that, and aged in the new charred oak barrels we just spoke about. A typical barrel holds somewhere around 53 gallons. That's around 250 to 300 bottles of whiskey. And bourbon gets a lot of its flavor from contact inside that charred oak barrel. When the weather is warmer, the liquid expands, it pushes it into the wood of the barrel. And then when the weather cools down, it retracts and it comes out of that wood. The cycling of it being pushed in and out of that oak is where the magic happens. So how long it's in the barrel, how hot the summers are, how cold the winters are, whether the barrel is up high in the rick house where it's hotter or lower where it stays cooler, all these things affect the flavor and characteristics of a particular barrel. So to get that consistent and reliable flavor of your favorite bourbon, most bourbons are blended together. They dump a bunch of barrels and professional tasters blend those barrels to achieve a certain flavor profile. That way, every time you grab a bottle of Woodford Reserve, Wild Turkey, Old Forester, whatever your favorite is, it always tastes the same. The magic of the single barrel comes from the unique qualities of a specific barrel. Also the limited nature of it only existing in that one barrel. Especially with a barrel pick where you're picking it, you are selecting one particular barrel that has the flavors and characteristics that you like. Barrel picks are also usually the purest form of whiskey, so to speak. Normally, not always, but most of the time, being unfiltered and at whatever proof that specific barrel was. The bottle will usually have all the stats on it, which is pretty cool, like when it was barreled, how old it was, proof, barrel number, and sometimes even maybe where it was located in the rick house. You're getting a unique product that only exists in that one barrel, has taken years to make, and there will only ever be a couple hundred bottles ever in existence. I mean, that's more rare than a vegan that could bench 315. Actually, that might be too rare. Maybe 225? Okay, it's more rare than a vegan that could bench press 135. I have done only two now. The first I did remotely. I did a barrel pick with Still Austin a couple months back. Now, Still Austin is located in Texas. I am located in Florida. Not close. So we decided to do that one remotely. They shipped me 5 samples, each from a specific barrel with the barrel number, age, and proof on the bottle. We then did kind of a blind tasting, a flight of these different barrels. We actually did it on a live stream. Check that out. I'll link it somewhere. And we decided which one was our favorite and picked it. They then bottle up your barrel with all the specifics listed on the bottle, and done. Very cool experience to be able to select a barrel tailored to your preferences. Still Austin was great, really seamless, fun process. But I do have to say, for the bourbon pick we just did with Still Austin, we decided to go to the distillery in person to do the pick since we were already going to be in Texas for the beard trim video we just did, which if you haven't seen that one, again, check it out. Doing it in person was way cooler. And also, since we had just been at Beer Brand doing the beard trim, we invited Eric, my friend and founder and CEO of Beard Brand, along for the ride, because it's always fun to enjoy a good whiskey with friends and family. If you are going to be sampling some good old whiskey, the sponsor of today's video, Zbiotics, might just help you out. If we're being honest with ourselves, as much as I enjoy the occasional adult beverage, it doesn't always make you feel, let's say, optimal the next day. Especially with now me in my 40s, mid to late 40s, I've noticed every year it seems to take less and less drinks to make me feel off my game the next day. Well, the good folks at Zbiotics aim to help with that very issue. Zbiotics pre-alcohol probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. PhD scientists invented it to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink alcohol, it converts into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's that byproduct, not dehydration, that makes you feel miserable the next day. Zbiotics produces an enzyme to help break that byproduct down. Just drink Zbiotics before drinking alcohol, drink responsibly, and get a good night's sleep to feel your best the next day. I admit, I was a little skeptical about this stuff at first, but after putting it through its paces with a few good buddies of mine and a very nice whiskey, we all talked the next day, and we were amazed at how good we all felt. At that point, I was sold. Just click the link below or scan the QR code that will be in one of these corners of the video and get 15% off your first order. Zbiotics is also backed by a 100% money back guarantee, so if for any reason you're dissatisfied, they will refund 100% of your money, no questions asked. So really a pretty no risk proposition. Check those links below, 15% off your first order. Thanks to the good folks at Zbiotics for sponsoring this video and supporting the channel. Let's get back to picking some whiskey barrels.
Nature shows me, makes me taut. I could climb this mountain now.
You have reached your destination.
Rise above the clouds and see.
The cool part about picking a barrel in person is you not only get to select an awesome whiskey, but you get a chance to see the place where the whiskey was made and see the whole process in person. You get to meet and talk to the people that help make this awesome whiskey a reality. Doing all that in person really does help you have a deeper understanding and appreciation for the whiskey. In the case of Still Austin, one of their main focuses is to make a truly grained glass product completely in the state of Texas.
This is where all the grains get dropped off at, and they come straight from Lone Star Family Farms up in between Amarillo and Lubbock in Sunray, Texas. That's where we've gotten 100% of our grains since day one, and it's where we will continue to as long as we can have that partnership with them. It's a pretty amazing thing. A lot of people don't know this. This is one of the most dangerous parts of distilling. There's one bolt or one screw that causes a slight little spark whenever you're in that milling process. Big boom. So it's got to be contained. And it's, well maintained as well. All the mills, it's really, really important to do that. But yeah, we have RMS roller millets inside there. We have a little auger that comes from all of our silos.
Each silo has one?
Yep. Oh, no, it's actually just one auger that's connected to the bottom.
Okay.
So it'll be kind of like gravity fed. And so that auger will push up the grain into the mill. And we're going to go to the other side and we're going to see where that final grist or that milled grain comes out, and we push it straight into the distillery to start cooking it.
Way up there is how far the still goes up, above
Take it out inside too.
all the stuff.
Got the feeling in your bones. Make you feel right at home. Honey, does it well. Keep me dancing till I'm dead.
Christian has picked out 5. We thought we were only gonna get 3 because he had like a straight windstorm that was danger. He risked life and limb to get us 2 more, so instead of having 3, we have 5.
Which is how it should be. It should always be 5.
So if you come to a distillery to do a barrel pick, if you ever get the privilege of doing that, they set you up. You got all your picks in a nice flight, nice Still Austin cups, all your samples.
Fresh straight from a barrel 2 days ago.
Fresh straight from a barrel 2 days ago.
Yes.
Fresh.
A nice cup of water,
Yeah, Austin's finest. Limestone filtered.
limestone filter.
Yep. Natural. We are on a giant aquifer that's all limestone filtered water. So,
There
yeah.
we go.
Yeah. It's delightful.
It's delightful.
Yeah.
All right, man. So walk us through. What are we doing here?
So we've got 5 absolutely just, in my personal opinion, I think these are incredible samples for you guys. You came all the way from Florida, so we wanted to make it real special for you. One of them is from 2020. The other 4 are all the way from 2018. So that is some old juice for us.
Yeah.
You're talking about, I mean, that's like pretty much when we started laying down juice.
Yeah.
Is in 2018. What we're tasting today is the Bourbon mash bill, 7 70% corn, 25% rye, 5% malted barley. All of these grains are 100% grown in Texas. Single farmer, Sunray, Texas. Lone Star Family Farms up there. They're absolutely incredible people, and we're super lucky to have the partnership with them that we do. We use non-GMO'd food grade grains, which is super important when we're talking about faster aging climate that we have here in Texas.
Yeah.
You always should use the best grains possible, but especially when you have a quicker maturation period. That's paramount. We do everything here at the distillery 100% ourselves, even down to milling those grains. We have the silos right out front, grain mill on site, one of a kind 42-foot continuously running column still that we got here. It was built just for us, truly one of a kind. And I'm just really excited. All laid out in a very certain way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have all the same samples.
It goes like our barrel pick that we did of the rye. 3 is going to be the best one.
Got a 20% shot.
I got a 20% shot.
20% of the time it works every time.
20% of the time it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Nose them first, but definitely do it in order because I laid them out in a certain flavor profile. It's going to take you on a fun little ride. We got everything from beautiful like dark cacao notes to like warm maple to fresh espresso to baking spice. You kind of got the whole gamut. I'm just really excited for you guys to get through these and see what you think because they're truly exceptional.
I could climb this mountain now, rise above the clouds and see. Well, oh, the falls that kept me strong. Never did I mean no wrong. 'Cause I ain't looking back. I ain't looking.
The grist gets pushed into the cooker. We only have one 2,000-gallon cooker here at Still Austin, which is pretty crazy. So cooking that's the quickest part of, distillation. Cooking for, 4 to 6 hours, depending on the type of spirit that we're distilling. But the only thing that's added to the cooker is that hot water, just to get it rolling. And it turns out looking like a delicious oatmeal, essentially, from the grist. We can go see if there's any back here. Watch your feet.
Come on, Jeremy.
It's better when it...
Come on, Jeremy. Taste it. You gotta taste.
I know you've had a few whiskeys there. I don't think it's going to be good.
Eric.
You only live. Can I? I don't want to dip my hand in something or is this waste?
This is just like straight grist, guys.
It's just dust. So it's not even grist. That's the dust afterwards.
You don't want to taste that.
You don't want to eat it, Eric. You don't want to eat it.
Okay. What are things that I eat?
I would not eat that. I'll pull you a sample from one of the fermenters. If you want to try some of that, please don't eat that.
Okay.
I'll grab you a handful of barley. That's not in there.
Eric is trying to eat corn dust from, I think it's like throw off.
This is our melted barley.
There you go. Eat that. It's going to be hard.
Essentially corn nuts.
Jeremy likes it hard. That's good. You can try some.
No.
I'm good.
That looks like,
It's just a grain.
ooh, look at all that. Look at all that. Texas grain. All from Texas, baby.
100% Texas, baby.
All from Texas. That looks like a small bag, but let me just back up for a second to get a fucking scale here.
2,000 pounds.
Yeah, it's 2,000. Eric's eating more. Of course he is. Eric's eating all the grains. All those are full of grain. That's how it all starts, baby. That's what your whiskey starts looking like. Looks way better in the bottle.
2, 3, and 4 are all from June 2018. And number 5 is from July 2018.
For some reason, I was getting more on the nose, which does not always translate to the palate.
Definitely not.
But I was getting more wood notes,
Okay.
which sometimes translates to longer in a barrel.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking. What are we
What's
looking
going
at on
there?
proof?
First one's at
Oh, here we go.
111.9. Second one's at 105.1. What's number 3 say on there?
Number 3 is
that must have been during the windstorm. I didn't even take the proof.
oh, okay.
Sorry, guys. That's a mystery, but I guarantee you it's right around probably like one. It's between 105 and 109. I
And 1
guarantee
and
it.
2, the lowest proof one is number 5.
Yeah, it's really, especially
one
with
of the-
single barrels, it can be really deceiving when
Stronger noses on it.
when you find something that you really like on the nose and it doesn't translate to the palate.
Already, one's good.
Yeah.
There's some interesting stuff going on too. I want
what
to
you
say
did
it's a little like more sweet floral
Okay.
than the first one.
Yeah, there's definitely some floral notes in there. You can get like some nice like light rose water almost on some of them. You know,
We had that on some of even the ryes we had.
Yep, I love that.
Major shift in flavor and mouthfeel on 3.
Yeah, big time. What's some notes that you guys are picking up?
I'm so bad at the notes.
There's like a honey, but there's also like almost a brown sugar caramelly thing going on in that.
Okay.
There's a Much more intense sweetness in that one than the other ones I've had.
Perfectly almost burnt confectionery
brulee.
sugar on top
Yeah.
of a creme brulee.
That's actually really good.
Like some vanilla custard underneath it. Mmm. Now I'm hungry. Which all of these whiskeys would go amazing with some creme brulee.
Bananas Foster with whiskey.
You sure can if it's high enough proof.
Because it's normally made with rum.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, rum, you know, it's
But I
not
would
sweeter.
imagine with a good whiskey, it would be fantastic. For smooth. And I hate to use the term smooth because whiskey people get all weird about the word smooth.
To me, number 2 felt like it had some bite to it. I'm like more of a dry guy than a sweet guy.
Oh, so you're a dry guy.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
You
Like my humor.
Yeah.
To me, 4 and 5 almost feel like it's kind of coating your tongue.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like there's a warm.
That's a long finish. When,
Yeah.
When you feel it go all the way back to the back of your mouth and the back of your tongue.
It
Yeah.
just kind of coats. And then you sit there and for like 5 minutes, even if you don't take another sip, you just keep retasting it because it's coated the entire inside of your
Yeah.
mouth.
Has exquisite mouthfeel.
Compared to like number 1, especially coming back to number 1, and that difference between 4 and 5 for me is a lot more like crisp. Like that dryness kind of comes through, which I do like.
That's also the beauty of, you know, different whiskeys and having, you know, difference of opinions in whiskey. So a lot of times what other people will find, so what you're experiencing is tannin, right? That's what gives that almost like drying mouthfeel.
I can taste a little bit of
and
like
a lot of people don't like
chocolate.
that. Some people do. I enjoy it with certain whiskeys, but so it's very interesting to hear other people find that and say they enjoy it. I like that.
I could climb this mountain now, rise above the clouds and see. Oh, the falls that kept me strong.
It's where the alcohol is actually starting to form. About like 8 to 10% once it comes out of here.
10 to 12, yeah,
10 to 12.
somewhere around there. Right here, this is our oldest fermentation. 2 days and 15 hours. It's like grits. Really watery grits, but yeah.
Like grits.
Okay. It's essentially just oatmeal. So it's grain with sugar and water, or water that turns from the grain, the sugar turns into it. So it's the same thing as just sweet grits, and it tastes just like it.
Yeah, so it looks like there's
Yeah.
there's corn in here, there's barley,
Rye
and rye.
You want to eat that, don't you, Eric?
Yeah.
Are you
I don't know if I'd want to eat this.
So this one's, no, that one's, it's going to be a little sour just because it's actually fermented, but it's perfectly edible. It doesn't taste bad, just weird.
Bottoms up.
It's
I'd
gonna,
rather you have that.
it's gonna be weird.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's gonna be weird. Is it weird?
Yeah, it's like a funky oatmeal.
Mixed. What's that shit that all the hippies drink?
Kombucha.
Kombucha.
Kombucha. It's like kombucha. I don't know. It's like kombucha and grits.
You should try.
Chocolate at 5.
It's like
No, not at all. I love it. Oh yeah, like some chocolate, like some dark,
It's
like
like
cooking chocolate.
Yeah.
Cacao.
So I smelled 5 and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
yes.
5's kind of
like 5. I haven't tasted it yet though.
5's ringing my bell.
Yeah. Just kind of like chicken
Oh.
boxes.
It's got nice mouthfeel. It's got some sweetness, but there's some darkness in there, which I think is like the dark chocolate kind of thing coming through.
When you start going through it a second time, I think
changes.
things start changing because
Well, because that first time, honestly, your palate isn't ready for all that high proof liquor. The flavors are almost kind of washed out by the fact your tongue's a little on fire from it getting hit with 100+ proof liquor. By the time you go around, you've acclimated. And then you
my mouth is a little numb.
Yeah. And you
Things are a little more smooth. Get a little more sweet. We are two wild and crazy guys.
you're getting the flavors are starting to come out.
Oh yeah.
When you're going through there, you're actually like your taste buds are opening up, and then once you go through a couple of them, they're like, okay, now we're ready to go, and you're really able to get those like caramelins and those different sugar flavor profiles.
So drinking whiskey is a lot like lifting weights. You got to warm up.
You got to warm up.
And so you got to have like 2 or 3 whiskeys before you have your whiskey. So, yeah, 5 is smooth. Like
5 is, man, I'm having a hard time.
It's super smooth.
It's really smooth. It's sweet. It feels balanced. There's like this nice little bit of sweetness in the beginning, but then I get this like almost a little bit of like dark chocolate kind of thing.
Number 2,
I'm out.
your chop.
Why yeah?
Well, I'm out. Out of all of that, I just like it the least of all of them. I don't really have a good reason. It has a little bit, like you said, like a little bit of a bite, or something. It's just not as smooth and well-rounded to me.
You see, I don't have much chest hair, so I need all the bite I can get to get that chest hair growing.
It'll start growing it, bud. Whiskey puts chest hair on. I thought one was going to be my first out, but now going back to one, it tasted better the second time.
I liked one better.
Yeah.
I liked one better the second time, for sure.
And as this air gets to them, they're softening, and there's alcohols that are present in the barrel that aren't going to be present in the final bottling,
right?
Because when it goes through a bottling line, you're essentially like forced decanting that entire barrel, and a lot of those ethanols that have built up like on the very top, those evaporate and those get filtered out.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm out on 2.
Out on 2?
I like 2, but there is a flavor in there that I don't.
There's something that's just not hitting.
It's good, but it's not.
Hey, there can only be one Highlander.
I haven't done as extensive whiskey tasting.
That's why I wanted you to come. I figured you would enjoy it.
I'm already feeling good. and look, like there's nothing gone from here.
Well, it's working.
I don't think there is a wrong answer.
When you're drinking 100+ proof stuff, it doesn't take long to start to take that edge off.
Oh, yeah.
So I would say...
Do you like this way better than the Isla Scotch we had you taste?
Was that weird like peaty stuff? Yeah. I cannot do peaty stuff.
We had a get together he threw a couple years back, and we had a guy come in and do a tasting, and we gave him some like really peated Isla,
like the Octomore stuff,
like Octomore, Ardbeg, like some really.
The Octomore is no joke.
Dude, everybody, he was like, why would anybody drink this?
Like, why would you want to eat the ground? I have no desire to eat the ground. I mean, it's probably like beer. I'd have to acquire that taste for it.
With hints of a Band-Aid.
Yeah, it does have some Band-Aid in there.
And I'm not saying I love Octomore. It's like they're exceptional at what they do. I'm just saying.
He's like, give me all that Band-Aid flavor.
Just for me personally, Pete, that's what it reminds me of. I'm not singling out any.
No, but you're right. It does. A lot of people describe it as like Band-Aid, burnt tire.
Yeah.
I've heard some people say a mermaid's armpit.
Mermaid's, I like that. Mermaid's.
I could climb this mountain now, rise above the clouds and see. Oh, the force that kept me strong. Never did I mean no wrong. 'Cause I ain't looking back. I ain't looking back.
So this is the still. One of a kind, very, very tall.
So this is Nancy, named after Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Her name's Nancy. We got a nice little ode poster over there.
So the still is named after Nancy, Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Whoa!
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty stellar.
Yeah, this comes from the Forsyth Still Company in Scotland. This was initially designed for high ester rum production because our first master distiller, Mike Delavante, he worked for Appleton Rum for a long time, and he helped, with this whole design and brokering this deal with Forsyth Still Company to get this.
I tell you what, I've been to several distilleries, and I don't think I've ever seen one that tall. That thing is huge.
That's what she said. Don't you dare.
Into the product receiving tank, what we do is we take it from here and pump it into our barreling tote. If you notice, it's got scales. So we do everything by weight. We take our distillate, we gather a proof, a weight, and calculate exactly how much RO water we need to add to get it to 116 proof.
So it comes into these product receiving tanks
Yep.
at
135.
135. Goes over here to the filling. You guys add RO water from over here.
That's what RO stands for, is reverse osmosis.
So it just takes everything out of the water.
Exactly. So it's completely neutral. We don't want the water post to affect the whiskey flavor.
Right.
We want to let the grain shine through the flavor of that. We also use RO water to proof down barrels pre-bottling. The reason that we use RO water instead of city water is depending on the mineral and metal content
Kind of a weird
inside
taste.
of it. Well, it can, but it can also turn whiskey black.
Oh, well, that's the problem.
So if you have a high enough concentration of iron, a high enough ppm, what happens is if you add that to finished product, it'll turn it into black whiskey.
Oh, well, and that's probably not something anybody wants.
Cool Halloween thing.
Yeah.
It tastes a little funny.
Yeah.
Doesn't look the greatest.
Yeah, right. So, tank, filling tank, RO water added, and then it comes over here, and you guys use these ethanol grade They look like a gas pump.
It's essentially the same thing. This is made of cast metal. So they actually cast this whole thing to where it's the entire internal mechanisms are metal. So that way the ethanol doesn't eat away at it over time.
Use that. Hose hooks up to that. That comes out of the tank.
Yep. Fill it up.
Pump into these guys, which everybody recognizes. You end up with the juice that we all love, like some years later after it sits. They don't age it here, though. This actually, they have an off-site aging facility, warehouse. These guys right there, the ones that are banded, he said, are the ones that have just recently been filled with the good old white dog.
Roughly, we get about 2 shipments that go out a week.
So about 2 shipments a week. They fill them up, band them, shipping them out to their warehouse, and then they age there for, hell, however long as you guys decide to do it. I mean, it's, yeah, until it tastes good, damn it. Until it tastes good. I dig it. I love whiskey. You guys know I love whiskey. Shit, look at all these barrels. Bung holes everywhere. If you don't know, guys, that's a bung hole.
I think I'm going to remove 4 and 5.
You're removing 4 and 5.
Listen, I think that he has the opposite palate of us.
And this just goes to show you.
We just happen to have the same. We like the same.
And it goes to show you why barrel picks are so important and why it's cool to get barrel picks from different people, because different people are going to pick very different barrels. And if over time you find somebody that you regularly like their barrel picks, odds are you have the same palate as them. Yeah. And when they do a barrel pick, you're probably going to really enjoy the whiskey. This is going to be the same problem we had last time. I was able to get 2 gone pretty quick, and then I'm sitting here re-drinking these until I'm half wasted, and I can't make a pick. And then eventually,
I think I'm going to be between 4 and 5, honestly. But I'm about to.
They're all pretty great.
See, I find number 3 to be pretty smooth as well. Like I don't feel a lot of bite or any bite really, but also it doesn't have, in my opinion, that same coatiness.
Mm-hmm. And you don't like the coating,
and I don't like. I'm not too fond of that.
That long finish, you mean? Cool.
Yeah.
The long finish.
You like a
I like a really quick finish.
You like
off to bed.
You like a dry.
I
like a dry.
Dry, quick finish.
Oh my God. The only reason I'm leaning a little more 5 is I feel like the nose is a little more pleasant on 5.
Listen, I told him when we first started, I smelled them all. And I said thank you. I was talking in his mind. I said on the nose, 2 and 5 are my favorites. And I've already eliminated 2. So I feel like 5 is where I'm going to land. It smells like coffee to me.
I get a weird mix of like a little bit of floral with some coffee and like some cacao. I also try to think of which one of these do I think would go best with a cigar? Because so many of my people are cigar smokers.
Ooh, 5, like 5 with a stick on like.
I'm telling you, I'm
5 with a cigar and a steak. Holy cow!
I'm saying 5 with a cigar and a steak would be pretty banging. I'm going 5. That's my vote.
I know, mine too.
You tell me your vote, Allison.
I picked 5 on the nose alone.
Yeah, I feel like Allison was pretty dialed in fairly.
Wasn't I?
5.
I went to 5. It smells so good.
I think that's the barrel we're going with.
It smells good, don't it?
Remember the.
You like it?
It is 20.
It's got layers.
It does.
Yeah.
It's got layers. It's
Yeah.
a little spicy, a little sweet.
Yeah.
I get some like chocolate notes in there that I like.
Yeah, like cacao.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
I think I always pick stuff I think will go really well with a cigar. And I feel like that would be a banging whiskey with a cigar. Whiskey and cigars is just, it's like coffee and cigars, man. They go really well together.
Bacon and eggs.
Like bacon and eggs, like peanut butter and jelly. You know what I'm saying? For 5.
They're all very good. They're all very.
5 is 100. That was the lowest proof too.
See, he's not getting any hair on that chest.
Number 5, obviously, was the winner, at least for me and Al. Eric liked number 2. He enjoys a little bit more of a drier, crisp finish. Because I'm a cigar guy, I like those long coating finishes so you can enjoy the flavor with the next several puffs of your cigar. Like we mentioned, that is one of the cool parts about a pick. There are no wrong answers. It's all about what you would enjoy and what your favorite characteristics of a whiskey are. I want to really thank Christian and all the folks at Still Austin for taking the time to not only do the pick with us, but to show us around the distillery. That was super awesome. Really down-to-earth great people in the great state of Texas. We had a blast. Still Austin Distillery is also really a just a fucking cool distillery. I mean, it's unlike a lot of the ones I've been to in Kentucky. It was really a fun, kind of hip, cool place. If you're in the Austin area, I definitely recommend you go by and check them out. They have like a patio where you can sit out and have drinks. They have live bands and stuff. Really cool place. And also big thanks to my buddy Eric for tagging along. It was a lot of fun having him hang out with us, going along for the ride. He is a great dude also. Good folks all the way around. So that's all she wrote. That is what it's like to do a barrel pick. We should have the pick ready, I would say sometime in the next 30 days or so. So if you're interested, keep an eye on the socials and I'll announce when it's ready if that's something you're interested in. Hopefully this gave you guys a little understanding of the barrel pick process and just a better understanding in general of how whiskey's made. If you did, feel free to smash that like button. That always helps us out. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so. We'd love to have you on board. Hope everybody is having a fantastic week, and we'll see you in the next video. Now the question is, who do we do the next barrel pick with? Stillhouse set a high bar. They've done really good with the picks. We've enjoyed working with them, and I'm sure we'll do more picks with them in the future, but I think next we have to find a different distillery. We've done 2 with Still Austin, so we gotta keep it varied up, do something different. I don't know, I guess we'll see.